Welcome to this ARIS video. My name is Frank. I'm an ARIS expert with more than 15 years of experience. It is my pleasure to show you an approach of how to model Agile user stories in ARIS. So now, what is the Agile user story? An Agile user story typically consists of three parts. The first clause refers to the user. As user X, as persona X. The second clause refers to what that user wants. I want to do this. And the third clause refers to what the objective of the user is, such that I can achieve a reward. So the whole Agile user story goes like this. As user X, I want to use a certain product functionality such that I can achieve an objective at work. Now, what is an epic? An epic is a collection of related user stories in that it could be a sequence of user stories. It could also be a topical collection of user stories that make up a whole epic. So a logical collection of multiple user stories is called an epic. And I'm going to show you in the following how you can go about modeling and managing this in ARIS. What you're seeing on the screen, this is ARIS Connect, which is ARIS in the browser, ARIS in the cloud, ARIS with a modern user interface. And you're looking at a model that is called first-time car buying. First-time car buying is an epic that consists of multiple user stories. And I'm using a familiar notation or model type that is called event-driven process chain. And I'll explain in the following how this relates to the Agile user story. So this is about a persona by the name of Carolyn. Carolyn is a first-time car buyer, and she's about to buy her first own vehicle. In order to do so, she goes to a car dealership and she compares cars, and defines what she needs, what she wants to make a good car purchasing decision. So first of all, she wants to see a reliability rating next to each car that is offered by this car dealership. And ideally, she would like to have an app on a mobile phone or a web application on the website that she can also see this information for. And this is something that this car dealership is considering building so as to make this easier for future first-time car buyers to find the appropriate car. So this is the functionality to be developed. This is what the persona wants. This can also be interpreted as a functional requirement. And this one right here is the persona. It's a simple role type in ARIS. This is a simple function type. This is an application. And the reward/objective is modeled here. So you can use standard EPC modeling to model the Agile user story. And you see there's more than one Agile user story. This is the second one. In this step, Carolyn wants to see car insurance quotes next to each car that is offered by the dealership. And this would be how the dealership considers developing this feature in a future application. You could even go as far as to design screens or UI requirements. You can do this in ARIS too. And you can even go as far as to map this to test cases, customer touch points, and so on. So this is a very nice way of capturing Agile user stories in ARIS and defining an entire epic as part of a process model. Now, what else can ARIS do to turn this into narrative collaboration? You see, I'm looking at the so-called diagram tab/model. There's also a narrative tab, which I renamed from overview to narrative. And this narrative gives you the same result, but in a different format. This is now a form-based, web-based view on the diagram content. And you see here, this is a listing of user stories. This is the description of the epic. And if you see this, you can sort this epic by the process flow. You can show all of these parts of the model. And we have the first column as user. This is our role. This is our persona. I want to, this is the function in the model. This is the I want to clause in the user story. This is the objective or the reward. And you can even show additional columns such as application and anything else that you want very easily via Connect configuration. Now this is important, this is already interesting. Let's go back to the diagram. How does this now translate into narrative collaboration? Suppose you're like an agile scrum master, you have a project team, you're dealing with agile requirements and user stories. You could use ARIS to also collaborate around this. We have a very nice collaboration component right here. So you could invite your team, you could invite your end users, your personas on whom you want to test this new application or product, and you could invite them to produce feedback and go about narrative collaboration directly in ARIS. So this you can use right here, nice going back and forth with multiple users and refine this epic as much as possible before you hand it over to development and refine it further there. This collaboration is also available in this view, so if people prefer this view for consumption, you can use the same collaboration feature right here. So this is how you can use ARIS Connect to go about collaboration in the context of an epic and user stories. Now there's one more thing that would be important. Say you have a project development tool such as Jira, and you would like to export this one model or multiple models en masse, and you want to export this and import it into Jira. We have that too. So there's an example right here. I'm going to go to reports, and I'm going to find a report right here that lets us do just that. Here it is, Jira Epic, export Epic and user stories for input into Jira. I'm going to click on this right here. I click start, and then this would open and show as an Excel file. And from there, we can input this directly into Jira for project development. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you liked this video. Let me or the ARIS community know if you have any questions or suggestions.